All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And it finally happened. We got gameplay for Marvel Spider-Man 2. And in today's video, we're going to go over all of the details regarding the gameplay that we just got during the PlayStation showcase. We're going to talk about the recent blog that was posted by the senior community manager of Insomniac Games. So get hyped for that. We've got a lot of stuff to go over. But real quick, guys, don't forget to enter the 120,000 subscriber PS5 giveaway. I'm giving away a copy of Spider-Man 2 as well as a PS5 for 120,000 subscribers. To enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter or your Discord, and then tweet me proof that you're subscribed. I've got extra details down in the pinned comment. So first things first, let's just talk about how amazing that gameplay showcase was for Spider-Man 2. This gameplay looks amazing, and whenever they said Spider-Man 2 was a PS5 exclusive with no compromises, they really did mean that. The graphics, the fidelity, the atmosphere all looked incredible, and I cannot wait for this game to be released. It's releasing currently in fall of 2023. We're going to talk about my speculation regarding the release date, as well as why they didn't actually announce the date just yet, but more on that in just a bit. Jumping straight into the PlayStation blog, they said, and I quote, "It's a banner day for Spidey fans. We're delighted to finally show you the first ever gameplay for Marvel Spider-Man 2, the next installment of our original Marvel Spider-Man franchise, which will launch in fall 2023. And then they said, let's highlight the big stuff. The hunt begins. Kraven the Hunter is in this game. We got the introduction video. The visuals and motion capture for Kraven looked awesome, and I'm so excited to see the role that he plays in Spider-Man 2. So the section of the blog says this: the great hunt begins. As many Sharpbeard Spidey fans noticed in our announcement trailer in 2021, Kraven the Hunter is in Spider-Man 2. This version makes his debut experience, and he's in search of an equal, which spells bad for the inhabitants of Marvel's New York, including a rogues gallery of villains and the Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Between the start of Kraven's great hunt and an all-new symbiote threat to Earth 1048, our heroes have their work cut out for them. The blog continues by saying, setting the stage for our gameplay reveal, Kraven's Hunters, a new enemy faction, are in pursuit of Dr. Kurt Connors, aka the Lizard, and Peter needs to stop him. We kick things off with Connors' home across the East River in Queens, one of the all-new playable and explorable boroughs we're introducing in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Queens is in the game. We obviously knew about that from a while ago. Specifically in the teaser trailer, we knew that Queens was going to be in the game, which looks amazing. Like, this city of New York looks like it's futuristic and a worthy upgrade from Marvel Spider-Man PS4 and Miles Morales. So if you're concerned about the world being the same map as the first game, then this should dispel some of those concerns. Next up, this new gameplay confirmed what we all expected, and that is Spider-Man is going to be featured in his black suit, the symbiote suit. The blog says that we don't waste any time bursting through basement doors is Peter Parker, our original Spider-Man in this story, who needs no introduction, but what he's wearing perhaps deserves one. He's donning the highly coveted, iconic, and beloved black suit, and he's more than ready for a fight. I know one of the biggest complaints about Spider-Man 1 was the fact that the black suit was not featured in the game until Marvel Spider-Man PS4 released on PC and people could mod it into the game, but Insomniac has always said from the get-go that the reason the black suit is not in the game is because it needed to involve a story, and they felt that if they just slapped it into the game without a story backing, then it just wouldn't make sense and it would be a missed opportunity. In the blog, they said, beyond serving looks, our symbiote-bound hero has some new tricks up his sleeves. We're no stranger to Spider-Man knocking heads, but never like this. He's much more aggressive, and punches certainly aren't being pulled. Symbiote tendrils aggrandize Spider-Man silhouette, slamming foes against hard surfaces, dealing no mercy to Kraven's hunters. The author of the blog then stated, my advice, get cozy with the L1 button because you're gonna love it. Now, like I said, we're not gonna dive too much into the details in this video, as I've been working on a frame-by-frame breakdown of the trailer that you guys can expect in the next couple of days. I didn't want to rush that video out. I wanted to really take my time on it just to give you guys the best content as possible. So just stay tuned to the channel. If you're not subscribed already, definitely sub. But let's go ahead and continue with what they said on the blog post. They said the super popular suit can strike fear in almost anyone who comes face to face with it, but Kraven isn't just anyone, and his highly trained hunters aren't afraid of a brawl. Fret not, new combat abilities can neutralize our new headstrong opponents with a little bit of finesse. Strike back with aggressive parries to gain the upper hand, or cast a web to shunt enemies between a hard place and a harder place. Also, I love how he presses L1 and then just like knocks the dude to the wall and then does a horizontal ground pound. Such a cool thing to see. Now, the blog also confirms that you can also activate the classic dodge to get out of danger, but don't get too comfortable. Some attacks can't simply be dodged and will require a parry to properly evade them. So there will be some attacks that are unavoidable and you have to parry, which adds a little bit more of a skill gap to the game. I'm sure it's not going to be too hardcore, but I'm definitely looking forward to that. The blog continues by saying, our animators put in the work to deliver a much more impulsive Peter Parker, fitting for the symbiote bonded to his person without sacrificing his combative finesse. New takedowns humble even the most rugged enemies, and new combat animations push Spider-Man's limits. And then they showcase a screenshot of Spider-Man using the symbiote to completely demolish this enemy. And then they said this, which is probably my favorite favorite part of the blog post. They said, in Marvel Spider-Man 2, we're putting respect on the black suit and giving it the story it deserves. In this installment, we're really delving into Peter's personal relationship with the symbiote and how it affects those closest to him, which, like I will mention in the trailer breakdown, Miles as well as Gank's reaction to Peter is a lot different. They notice that he's changed and they know that something is not right. We got a slight glimpse of Bully Parker in this gameplay with how he reacts to saving someone's life, and I can't wait to see how everything unfolds into the story. They then continued by saying more miles per hour, which of course we know that Miles Morales is going to be in this game. The initial Marvel Spider-Man 2 teaser trailer that we got confirmed that Miles would be a playable character, as well as all of the rumors of a potential co-op mode. Those have been disproven by Insomniac themselves, but essentially Spider-Man 2 will feature a GTA-ish character switching system with real-time switching of characters, but I'll talk about those details in a bit. The blog post states this: speaking of which, this sequel features not one but two playable characters, the Spider-Man heroes, as Miles Morales returns in Spider-Man 2 and is a key player in our story. In this demo, Miles is in Harlem and he is chasing after Lizard's tail, and they said speed is of the essence in many ways than one. The blog says, first, let's get a glimpse of the near instant switching between both our playable characters, and if that wasn't enough, traversal gets a significant speed boost in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Cue the web wings, which are just the web wingsuits, and they can be deployed by either Spider-Man to move about the city swiftly and urgently. You could use wind tunnels between skylines to move with haste and behold the capabilities of the PS5 console's SSD as you soar above the concrete jungle, zipping past all manner of cars, buildings, and people, and of course pigeons. They said if you thought traversal in our first two games was exhilarating, just wait until you experience it firsthand in Marvel Spider-Man 2. I mean, this game is going to have no compromises on the PlayStation 5, so if that doesn't get you excited about this game, I really don't know what will. They continue by saying after a brief flight across the town, Miles has tracked down Connors inside the Harlem fish market. By the looks of it, Kraven's hunters are making a move on him, so it's time to clear them out. In Marvel Spider-Man fashion, players can approach encounters with stealth or Fist of Fury or both. Regardless of your approach, there's new gadgets and abilities that complement different playstyles. One of the new gadgets that we're excited about showcasing is the web line, a new way to sneak around the environment to get a drop on enemies, cast a line over a couple of hunters, and watch Spider-Man perform a dual takedown. Now, this is one of my most requested features in the game, alongside an actual spider web that we could create, but the web line zip line is going to be so clutch. It's going to add a new dynamic to this game, and I cannot wait for it. Now, the blog continued by saying, like his mentor before him, Miles Morales also has some new abilities and gadgets at his disposal. I'm going to go over some theories regarding the blue lightning glow in my other video, so stay tuned for that. But they said on the gadget front, we showed off the web grabber, which is a new gadget that pulls enemies together on an isolated spot, which allows Miles to chain one of his new abilities, the Thunder Burst, unleashing an electrifying ground pound against a group of foes. You also saw a glimpse of the chain lightning ability, which has a shocking radius of effect on nearby enemies, so basically an AoE move that is pretty effective. They continue the blog by saying between Peter's new symbiote abilities and Miles's newfound blue bioelectric powers, each Spider-Man has their own unique set of skills that can be upgraded via an all new individual skill trees. So not only are we gonna have one skill tree, but we're gonna have two, but we're also gonna have a shared technology and skill tree that offers parallel upgrades for both. Now, one thing that I'm not a fan of in some sequel games is whenever you play the game, you're essentially having to relearn the tools you've already learned before. Jedi Survivor was able to complement it really well. They did a great job on how they did their skill tree system, where you're essentially building on the skills you already learned from the previous game and gaining new skills that make the character even more unique. So this game, we get the new symbiote abilities, and that right there is going to add a new dynamic to the gameplay. And then Miles' new bioelectric powers should give us a fresh take and make it so it doesn't feel like it's just repeating the stuff from the first game. The blog continues by stating, as Miles tracks Lizard through the fish market, our environments are sure to activate your spidey senses. Our world is richer, denser, and packed with details from particles to improved textures. Lighting also gets an upgrade, casting more dramatic shadows and reflection along walls, pipes. Meanwhile, spatial 3D audio creates a unique soundscapes all around you. Further, we're upping the immersion of Marvel Spider-Man 2 with our signature use of the DualSense wireless controller, including a range of haptics and spectacular uses of the adaptive triggers. Now, the tagline for Marvel Spider-Man 1 was Be Greater. Miles Morales on the PS5 was Be Yourself, and Spider-Man 2 is Be Greater Together. The blog says, working together, the Spider-Man must pursue Lizard and fight the hunters who seek his capture. Unfortunately for them, Kraven is well equipped. Boats, aerial transports, and weapons are all eyes on Lizard. The great hunt continues along the East River, one of the new areas you can traverse in Marvel Spider-Man 2, and the action is tight. Miles dismantles vehicles in his wake while Peter Parker leads the chase from afar. And by far the most important part of this entire gameplay showcase, they said you'll seamlessly switch between both Spider-Man across a variety of story moments in Spider-Man 2, 2. They said, "We want players to bask in iconic team-ups elevated by our signature set-piece moments and experience the story from the perspective of each Spider-Man." Now, there's been a lot of theories that if you're just free roaming around the city, you'll be able to switch between Miles and Peter Parker at any time that you want, meaning there will likely be open world objectives for you to complete as Peter as well as Miles, all separately. So whenever you switch over to Miles, you'll have completely separate things to accomplish, similar to how GTA 5, where you could switch between all of the 3 main characters whenever you choose to, which I think adds a ton of new variety that will make the game feel super fresh. Now, one thing that I really want, and I know a lot of people are kind of in the middle for this, but I would love to play as Venom. I'd love for there to be like a separate mission where it's going to be like you versus the Lizard, and you're both trying to kill each other while Kraven the Hunter is also hunting you. It's a pipe dream that I have, but I would love to see that featured in the game. Now, they end the blog by stating, "We know you have been patiently waiting for more information about the game, including when you'll be playing it at home. And while we can't confirm a date today, we are on track for a fall 2023 release date, and we hope to be able to share a final release date soon." Now, the biggest question that everyone is asking themselves, when is Spider-Man 2 going to release? Well, like they said, it's kind of a toss-up at this point. It's going to be fall of 2023, but I think they're going to try to release it sometime in November or October. Currently, September is slated for a big game releasing, that being Starfield. It's already got a release date. So I don't know if Spider-Man is going to want to release their game in September. Maybe they'll slate it for like a late September type thing, so they give people time to play Starfield. Starfield is super hyped. Spider-Man 2 is really hyped as well. But with Starfield releasing on both PC as well as the Xbox, it might not be the best decision to also release Spider-Man 2 on the same time frame. Now, I'm not saying that they wouldn't be able to compete. They definitely would, and they likely would win out in that race, but I just think it's a smarter idea to give people time and release their $70 game sometime in October or November. That is if the game doesn't get delayed. All we have is a fall 2023 release date. We don't know if the game is done. They might delay it a little bit longer just for extra polish. I'm sure they're going to make that decision before they announce the release date. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up with this video. That's all of the new gameplay details we got for Spider-Man 2. Let me know if you're excited. Stay tuned for my full breakdown of Marvel Spider-Man 2 whenever I release it. It's going to take me a few days. I'm going to literally go frame by frame, go over every single detail from the gameplay, and give you guys my take as well as speculation. So I should have that out in a few days, so stay tuned for that. Also, don't forget to enter the PS5 giveaway, guys. It will be announced at 120,000 subscribers. Like I said, to enter, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, comment your Twitter handle, and then tweet me proof that you're subscribed. The full details are in the pinned comment. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up with this video. Thank you all for watching. This has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.